Okay, clap it up, clap it up. Here we go. Take number two. Take number two. Listen, tonight's class, this is a biblical law class, and we're going to talk about the law. As we were saying before, the whole Bible is basically a law book. It has our history in it. It has talks about how we should be towards each other. You understand, towards our brothers and sisters, the 12 tribes of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. It tells us also how we should be towards the heathen. You understand, tells us how we should operate amongst them. You understand, there are different laws in this book. Basically, every book in this Bible is looked at as law. It tells how we broken laws, how we followed laws. When we have broken laws, it tells and it shows us, the curses that shall befall on us. When we follow the laws, it shows us in a great place. And when we get out there on those Saturdays, what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring our people back toward the law so we can get back into that great place so that we can run this earth the way it should be run. Look at the way the earth is being run now. It's all kinds of, destruction is upon this earth. We need to come back to these laws and take our rightful place. With that being said, I want to say this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. We've been bringing this truth since 1969. And what is that truth? That truth is that the so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called natives are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, and the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And like I said, tonight's class is about the law. And a question that I want to ask is, what is law? You understand? What is law? We look at the laws today, especially the laws in this Babylon, Egypt, Sodom, and Gomorrah country that we live in right now. You understand that we look at a lot of these laws. We try to keep these laws. We try to hug up with our oppressor and abide by these laws. A lot of these laws take us away from the Most High. One of the examples of that law is Salaki, sir, if I may, you got that scripture, the mankind. You understand, a lot of these laws take us away from the Most High. You understand? As we look at it now, they talking about we got about 6 or 7 different genders. You understand? What is a gender? Gender is a derivative of genital. You understand? The genital, and there are only 2 genitals. There is male and there is female. You understand? There is the woman's part and there's the man part. There's no other gender. God only made 2 genders. But America wants us to believe that there are many genders. This is a gender-rich country. You understand that? LGBTQ. You understand, which goes against what the Most High has told us. You understand? What is law? Law, matter of fact, let me look it up in this Zondervan Bible Dictionary. We're going to get the definition of law right out of here. I got it, sir. You let me know when you get that. All right. Let me grab this so we can delve into what is law. You understand? And a lot of us we get mixed up by America's law. You understand? It says right here we go. It says law, 10 commandments given to Moses. Summarize God's requirements of man. You understand? God's law has always been. Everybody is supposed to follow God's law. You understand? But the laws were given to the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the only people that can sin against the Most High because the laws were given to us, no other nation. You understand? And that's told to us in the Bible. All right? The laws are different rules given to us, that we are supposed to follow. You understand? And let's see, the definition of law is the system of rules which are which are particular to a country or community, recognize its regulations, the actions of its members, and which it may enforce by imposition of penalties. So when you break that law, you can suffer a penalty. You understand? These are the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High that were given to us in the Bible. You understand? No other nation was given this. You understand? The Bible is a moral compass to us. The Bible is a book of laws and statutes. This Bible tells us how we are to live, and if we don't do what the Bible tells us, it tells the penalty that comes upon us when we don't follow the laws of the Most High. You understand? So, you got that scripture, sir? Can you read that for me?
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind.
Say that again.
If a man also lie with mankind.
That's if a man lies with mankind. If two men lie together, go ahead.
As he lied with a woman.
As he lied with a woman. Now, we all know what happens when a man lies with a woman. You understand? That's the way it's naturally supposed to be done. A man is supposed to lie with a woman. The scriptures tell us that a mankind is not supposed to lie with mankind as he lies with womankind. Go ahead.
Both of them have committed an abomination.
Say that again.
Both of them have committed an abomination.
It says if a man lies with a man, he has committed an abomination. What is an abomination? It's a hideous thing against the Most High. Something that we are not supposed to do. Men are not supposed to lie with men. That's in the scripture. But America allows it. America makes laws and allows men to lie with men. You understand? Go ahead, sir.
Abomination is a thing that causes disgust or hatred.
Say that again.
Abomination is a thing that causes disgust or hatred.
Hey, listen. Officer Matazabah said, abomination is something that causes hate or disgust. Listen, when we cause an abomination, that is the hate and disgust that is caused by the Most High, or Salakia, that is thrown towards the Most High. You understand? That's where we fall into iniquity against the Most High. America allows this. America creates laws that goes directly against what the Most High has told us. Now let's ask a question, right? If mankind lies with mankind, what can happen? All kinds of things can happen. You understand? You can catch all kinds of diseases. Listen, there is no procreation when a man lies with a man. You understand? That's where nations begin to disintegrate. You understand? This is the reason why our oppressor throws these kinds of things upon us. This is not something that's in our custom or culture. This is our oppressor's customs and culture. You understand? And then by us following our oppressor, we fall into the same deviant that our oppressor is in. You understand? Go ahead, sir.
They shall surely be put to death.
Say that again.
They shall surely be put to death.
They shall surely be put to death. You understand? I remember when San Francisco was the what word can I use? Was the capital of the LGBTQ. We can use that. Of the LGBTQ. You understand? The face of the LGBTQ through the 60s, 70s, and the 80s was in San Francisco, and it was the oppressor. And slowly but surely, the face of the LGBTQ has become the so-called Black Hispanic community. And now it's most of it, what's that? The top of the capital now is what? Atlanta? It's supposed to be Atlanta. You understand? It's a horrible thing when our oppressor begins to impart his customs and cultures upon us. Go ahead. Can you finish that, sir?
Their blood shall be upon them.
Their blood shall be upon them. You understand? That destruction that they have caused shall be upon them. When we follow our oppressor, these are the things that befelled us. You understand? We are the ones that, that have the highest number in HIV and all of that and all of these diseases. You understand? We are the face of the LGBTQ community now. It used to be our oppressor. Look at us. We destroyed as a people because we want to envy our oppressor. And when we envy our oppressor, we follow and do the things. We want to be like our oppressor. We can't be like our oppressor. We have to be us. We have to be what the Most High created us to be. We got some more on that? Okay, you could drop that. Listen, following the law gives us dignity. These are the things that we have lost. We have lost our dignity. You understand? We have lost our dignity so much so. What did the Korean guy in New York say? The Korean guy in New York said they have no dignity. We have no self-respect. You understand? This is how the other nations look at us. The other nations look at us in this way because we follow our oppressor. We are being disobedient to the Most High. Envy thou not the oppressor, and learn none of his ways. Listen, these are the scriptures. Can we get that, sir? Envy thou not the oppressor. Listen, other nations said we have no dignity. We have no self-respect. They beat those two girls up in New York, and they started protesting the Asian store. Asians did nothing but put up a 50% off sale on everything. Everybody dropped their signs and went in and started shopping. Asians said they have no dignity. We have no dignity when we begin to follow other nations. When trinkets can throw us off of our mission. No dignity. And we're better than them. How can the Asians take over the hair community because we have no dignity? All the hair care products, all the nail products, they got everything because we have no dignity. We would rather go with our oppressor or heathen nation than to be our own people. It's the same thing in sports. Same thing in sports. All of the best athletes are us. And yet we let old, fat, bald men dictate us around and tell us what we can and what we can't do. No dignity because we don't follow the laws of the Most High. See that Jerry Jones told the Cowboys they better not kneel. And they didn't kneel. And he said, you kneel when I kneel. And they all came out on the field together and waited for him to kneel. And then they knelt. That's no dignity. Listen, he has no athletic ability, but he's got all the best athletes in the world at his fingertips. Why? Because we have no dignity. All of that money on the field, they could have started their own league. But because we have no dignity, because we don't follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, this is the conditions that we live in. We are the greatest people on this earth. And every nation knows it. Think about it, right? How can it be possible that we have all the greatest athletes? And let's get off of the sports. We have the greatest minds. Even in captivity, even through slavery, some of the greatest inventions came through us. Mathematicians, they had two young girls, what was that, last year? That backed up the theory of relativity by was that Isaac Newton? One of those scientists, right? Two young black girls. Something that our oppressor couldn't do. What do they say about the Asians? The Asians supposed to be so smart. They couldn't do it. The East Indians supposed to be smart too. They trying to make them out to be smart too, right? They couldn't do it. Think about it, right? Not the Africans. These wasn't Africans. These were black girls. Two little black girls. You got it? And NASA scooped them up. You see it? You want to go ahead?
Well, if I could too, like what you're saying is so heavy because when you work around these people,
Right.
you work like you may come on the same thing that they a lot of us think that they're smarter than us.
Right.
Until you get on the job site and you working with them.
Yep.
If something happened that's not already scripted.
Right.
And you got to troubleshoot, you got to solve a problem. That's when you start to see.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it's a little different. You see what I'm saying? Maybe they ain't as smart as I thought they were.
Exactly. Exactly. Listen, it's heavy that you brought that up because I experienced that at the job that I'm at now. I thought this guy coming in the door, East Indian, I thought he was up there. But guess who he coming to troubleshoot with for him? Me. You know what I mean? And thing about it is he went to school for it, I didn't. You understand? And that's and just like you say, because of the propaganda of America, and because we so in love with America, and because we fall under the shadow of America, we believe everything that America gives us.
Right.
We have no dignity. We have no love for ourselves to believe that, listen, the scriptures say that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. We have the power to change our own condition. That's what that means. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. If we follow the law, statutes, and commandments, if we come amongst our own, if we gather ourselves together, yea, gather together, O nation not desire, understand that we are a nation of people that are not desired, we can come together and bring everything that we have together and self-serve ourselves. But because we have no dignity, you understand? No self-respect. We don't even have the self-respect to believe in our own. Well, look, this is what the ISUPK is here for. We are here to bring back that dignity. We are here to bring back that self-respect. You understand? We have that courage to get out there on those corners and talk to our people and tell our people we are the greatest people to ever walk the face of this earth. And the Bible identifies us as the true biblical Jews of the Bible.
Right.
That so-called Jewish man, think about it, right? When has a European ever came up out of the Middle East? Before Alexander invaded and destroyed Egypt. So how could these possibly be the Jews of the Bible? But because we have no self-respect, we have no dignity, we believe what they tell us. I mean, even when it's evident. A child, listen, a 5-year-old child would question how they come from over there and they look like that. They look like Europeans. They are Europeans. Stolen identity. That's what happened. You understand? And then we believe them because we don't want to believe that we are those people. The Bible tells you that the 12 tribes of Israel are God's chosen people, right, and that God would save his people. These so-called Jewish man is telling you that he is doing what God told him to do. God said he would save them, not America. You understand? No dignity, no morality. We follow the customs and cultures of America. We follow the laws of America, and it takes our whole morality away. We have no moral compass. The Bible gives us our moral compass. Listen, the Bible is a law book and a moral compass, not to mention a history book. It gives us our whole history. Every page you go into this Bible, every chapter that you go into this Bible is law. It's about law. It's about what we're supposed to do or not supposed to do. Every page from the beginning to the end. And right there in Genesis, it tells you what Adam and Eve did to fall. Step by step by step. When are we going to come back? When are we going to understand who we are? We always talk about, yeah, we the greatest dancers, we the greatest singers, We're the greatest athletes. We're the greatest mathematicians. We're the greatest inventors. But how is it we're the greatest at all of this and we're at the bottom of everything? It's got to be something to it. Tried that Buddhism, tried that Muslimism, tried that Christianity, tried all of these things, and none of these things have worked. The only thing we haven't tried is the Bible. Listen, the Bible is not Christianity. The Bible is law, statutes, and commandments. Bible tells us, matter of fact, let's get Deuteronomy. Did we finish that last one? The last scripture? Yeah, and let's hit that first. Let's hit that first.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor.
Say that again.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
Listen, the Bible tells us, envy thou not the oppressor. We envy our oppressor. We want to go out and we want to do all the things that our oppressor do. Listen, our oppressor oppresses us so much so that when we get ahead and we get up, we become a mayor, we become a congressman, we become a councilman, we oppress our own people. Right. The scriptures tell us, envy thou not the oppressor. But we go and do the exact same thing that our oppressor does to us. And we do it cheerfully with a smile on our face. Our oppressor gives us 30 pieces of silver and we sell our people out. We envy our oppressor. Think about this, right? All of those wildfires going on over there in California. Those brothers are oppressed so much so over in California that they got prisoners fighting wildfires over in California. I was telling somebody last week, right? Every year from all the way from the 70s through the 90s, all the way through the 70s through the 90s, every year they had wildfires in California. They used to always have a firefighter count of the firefighters who lost their lives in those wildfires every year from the 70s all the way to the end of the 90s. All of a sudden, in the early 2000s, you stop hearing about all of that. But guess what? They started passing laws where they could take prisoners and have them fight wildfires. And guess what? They don't have to report the death of the prisoners. Think about this, right? They just talked about California had 96 California detention center prisoners fighting those wildfires in the Palisades. So you mean to tell me none of them got unalived? Right. None of them? Every year, firefighters, professional firefighters, get unalived. But all of a sudden, you don't hear nothing about that. Now, we know that those prisoners are fighting those wildfires, but you don't hear about none of them being unalived. Why is that? Because they're state property. Following the law, statutes, and commandments could have kept those brothers out of that prison. Could have possibly kept them out of that prison. But when we envy thou oppressor, when we envy that oppressor, we fall under the thumb of the oppressor. You understand? Then we become property of the state of the oppressor. Then the oppressor is allowed to do what he wants to do with us. When are we going to love ourselves enough to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments? Do what the Most High tells us to do. We don't even have to go through any of this. This is something that we're choosing because we have lost our morality. People with morale have love for their people and would rather do for their people. Here in the ISUPK, we have love for our people. We have morality because we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Go ahead, sir.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Look, it tells us not to choose none of his ways. Every time we choose his ways, we fall into iniquity with the Most High. We fall into that LGBTQ community. We number one in HIV. We start chomping on that shrimp, crab, and lobster and that pork. We got the highest cholesterol. We got that, what they call that, fibroids and thyroids and all of that other type of stuff coming from eating unclean animals. Think about it, right? Shrimp, crab, and lobster. What do they do? What do they eat? They eat all the dead stuff on the bottom of the ocean in any kind of water, whether it be salty water, dirty water, filthy water. They eat anything dead. They eat all of that stuff off the bottom of the ocean. They are the cleaners of the bottom of the ocean. Think about it, right? In the 60s into the early 70s, the inner harbor used to be swimmable. Used to could swim in the inner harbor. It's so filthy now because they have eaten all of those clams and oysters and stuff up out of the inner harbor, out of the Chesapeake Bay, all of that filthy water and everything dead is still laying on the bottom of the ocean, eating up all the shrimp, crab, and the lobster. Water is filthy because we envy our oppressor. We want to follow our oppressor. We want to eat as our oppressor. And think about it, right? The oppressor eats way more than we do, and nothing happens to him. I'm not saying that they don't suffer things from that stuff, but we suffer more because we gotta charge ours to the Most High, and we have to pay out. You understand? Read that again, sir.
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Choose none of his ways. Go ahead. Is that the end of that? That was it. Okay, you can drop that. What we said we was gonna go ahead. Yeah, what was that? Deuteronomy. Was it Deuteronomy? Look, I'm getting too old. I forgot. Where was that? I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. But following these laws, statutes, and commandments is the most important thing. You understand what I'm saying? We envy our oppressor. We choose in all of his ways. That's why we on the bottom of everything. We got to start having love for ourselves. We got to start having love for our own people. We don't own anything where we are. This is hell we're living in right now. You ain't got to die. You ain't got to die and experience heaven. If we come back to the law, statutes, and commandments, we can build our heaven right here on earth. Look, our oppressor is experiencing his heaven right here on earth. And we are supposed to too. We come back to these law, statutes, and commandments. This would be our heaven. That morality. We got to have some moral. We got to have a moral compass. We got to have some kind of understanding. We got too much love for our oppressor. You understand? Think about this, right? I'm gonna show you how much love we got for our oppressor. I was listening to you know Vance Jones, listening to him this morning, man, and he talking about how we can never forget the Holocaust. How we can never forget the Holocaust, but everybody tells us to forget our Holocaust. Tells us to forget about what happened to us. Let me ask somebody a question, right? Is it like a statute of limitation where we have to forget? Is it a statute of limitation? Is there a number where after so many years that we have to forget what happened to us? Is it a number on that? Somebody tell me, is it a number on that? But think about it. If it is a number on that, right? I would think that we shouldn't forget what happened to us because in actuality, it's still happening to us, right or wrong. Now, I'm not going to say forget the Holocaust, but theirs happened 80 years ago, right? Go ahead, sir. Right. Well, see, that's why I said, that's why I said, just like Mutazabai just said, It's a Holocaust going on right now. ICE is going around kidnapping children of the so-called Hispanics. The Holocaust, listen, the Holocaust for us is continual. So our Holocaust really never ended. Think about this, right? Even the destruction of Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, and all of these cities, all the way. Think about it, right? They bombed the MOVE movement in 1985. That Holocaust was over in 1948. So if there's a statute of limitation and our Holocaust is still going on, shouldn't we continually remember it? Doesn't the Bible tell us, remember the days of old? Can we get that? That's Deuteronomy, right? Deuteronomy. Is that? I got it though. Deuteronomy, what, 28:32?
32 to
7 and 32?
32. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7.
Okay, all right.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old.
Say that again.
Remember the days of old.
Hey, listen, the scriptures tell us to remember the days of old. Listen, the reason why the scriptures tell us to remember the days of old is just for times like this, just for times like Vance Jones telling us that we shouldn't remember what happened to us, but we should remember something that happened to somebody else further back than us. Our Holocaust is still going on right now. Brothers are still being unalive right now. Children are still being taken right now. Children are still in cages on the border. 1,200 children came up missing off of the border. If that's not a Holocaust, what is that? It's a continual Holocaust. Just because it's not millions of people or tens of thousands of people a day doesn't mean that it's not a Holocaust. Anything that's going on, go ahead, sir.
This is how you know Hispanic brothers, like they are part of the 12 tribes. Like, people don't want to consider them part of the 12 tribes. Of course, in the ISUPK, we know that they're part of the 12
Right.
tribes. But if you look at it, them agents they ain't going into the Chinese store.
No, they're not.
They're not going into the Dunkin' Donuts.
No, they're not.
Them Asians and them East Indians, they are.
Hold right there. Murtaza is saying that our Holocaust is still going on. The ICE agents, they not going into Asian shops. They're not going into the Dunkin' Donuts where the East Indians are. And if I'm not mistaken, Murtaza, the number one and number two illegal immigrants are the Asians and the East Indians. Illegal. They not coming across the border and getting in line and being turned back. They creeping across the border too. Illegal. The ICE agents should be on them. And the thing about it, like, and I'm Salakia, sir. My bad, but I want you no, you go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish.
It is like, you got the East Indians and the Asians. They don't have no fear. They don't have no fear because they know that when the ICE agents, when they talk about illegal immigration, they're not talking about that.
Exactly.
Like, that's the crazy part because people don't think that Asians commit crime. They got gangs and stuff here too. They sell more coke and dope than anybody.
Salakia, sir, if I may, the number one country is China, where all of the opium is coming from. All of that poppy, Afghanistan, and in China. You understand? They just caught some Asians coming across the border with the opium and the heroin. We keep, oh man, okay, violation warning, okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm saying that's the truth, though. They come right across the border with it. They just caught some. This is on the news. This is not something that's not true. They got caught right there on the border. Think about it, right? June 2019, over in the Philadelphia harbor, right? They caught a boat with 34,000 pounds of heroin. June 2019, on the same day, 333 pounds at the Baltimore harbor. Did they catch and say who did it? Did they say who boat it was? Did anybody get arrested for it? Nobody got arrested for it. But I can guarantee you, if they found the brother with a baggie, they would have locked him up, had his face on everything. They'd have had 2 guns, a couple of bullets, and everything all spread out on the table. But you mean to tell me 34,000 pounds? Street, they said it was a street value of almost $1 billion. Then the 333 pounds that they found in the Baltimore harbor was a $10 million value. I know more got through. We always know that whatever they catch, we know 2 or 3 of them got through. This is always. They have to save face, though, and act like they're doing their job. So now, let me ask a question. That 334 pounds, 34,000 pounds that they got back in 2019, where did it go? Because as we know, through the pandemic, everything stopped except for the drugs. Envy thou not the oppressor. Listen, they know our weaknesses. Because we want to be like them, we do everything that they do. So believe it or not, those drugs did hit our neighborhoods. They save face and act like they're doing their job and push that stuff right back out into our neighborhoods. When the pandemic hit, everything stopped but the drugs. We got more on that?
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old.
Mm-hmm.
Consider the years of many generations.
Look, consider the years of many generations. We got to we got to remember the things that have happened to us over the generations. All of the destruction, all of the destroying of the neighborhoods, all of the planting drugs in our neighborhoods, all of the guns planted in our neighborhoods. We got to remember those times of many generations. Go ahead, sir.
Ask thy father, and he will show thee.
Listen, all we got to do is ask the elders. The elders know. They know everything that has happened to us, all the way through that what they call that March on Washington, the Civil Rights Movement. Listen, it was only a small percentage of people who was behind that Civil Rights Movement. Most black people did. Oh man, come on, stop this with this, man. Everything is. Here we go. All of this stuff, even through that civil rights movement, a lot of black people was not behind that civil rights movement. And guess what? Another thing is, right? In that civil rights movement, remember how we said, we envy thou not the oppressor? Because we like to do as our oppressor. A lot of people don't know that Martin Luther King and the Big Six got paid $1.5 million for that March on Washington to turn brothers in a different direction. You understand? It was supposed to have been a march on the White House. That's what it was supposed to have been. Martin Luther King and the Big Six were not included in that march on the White House. Kennedy put them in that march, put them ahead of that march, and paid them $250,000 a piece to get that march right in the way that our oppressor wanted it, right? They gave them half before the march. And they said if the march was successful, they give them the other half, and they gave them the other half. That's documented history. Envy thou not the oppressor. When we envy our oppressor, we stab our own people in the back. All of these years, we've been following Martin Luther King, believing he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And Martin Luther King sold us straight up the river for 30 pieces of silver. When you destroy a nation of people, I don't care how much money you get. And think about this, $250,000 back in 1958, 1959 was worth $5 million, close to $5 million today. Envy thou not the oppressor. Go ahead, sir. You can finish that.
Like elders, and they will tell me.
Yep. And listen, our elders tell us that this today. A lot of us don't want to hear it because they are our elders. Oh man, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh man, we passed that, and that's our problem. We always want to believe we're past something. Our oppressor is never past anything. Our oppressor never forgets anything. This is the reason why we gotta watch that 9/11, what they call it, the memorial every year. This is the reason why they have Memorial Day. This is the reason why they have the 4th of July, because they never want to forget. We're the only people on the earth that want to forget our history. We're the only people on the earth that don't want retribution what all the other nations have done to us. We're the only people. We're the only people that suffer and suffer and suffer and say, well, let's forget about it. No other nation does that. The Asians don't do it. The East Indians don't do it. The Africans damn sure don't do it. The Ukrainians don't do it. You understand? The Afghans don't do it. No other nation does that but us. And then the thing about it is, when we come out and speak about it, our people are the ones that come up against us. Then when something happens to your child, you want everybody to come around and huddle and cry and everything like that. What if somebody was to say, if something happened to your child, what if somebody was to say, well, let's forget about it? Then you would understand the feeling. You understand? But it's like, well, if it don't happen to me, not realizing that it is happening to you. Living in oppression is happening to you. Being redlined is happening to us. This is the reason why the Most High tells us to gather ourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. He didn't say, think about gathering together, or maybe we should gather together. It says, gather yourself together, O nation not desired, knowing that we are the only people on the planet that are not desired. Listen, these other nations come together. Even though they war against each other, they come together long enough to oppress us. Salakia, sir, can you drop that and get to Psalms 83? Psalms 83, we're going to start at that 3rd verse. Matter of fact, start at the 1st verse.
Psalms 83, verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Go ahead.
Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. Verse 2. For lo, thine enemy make a tumult.
Go ahead.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
Right.
Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Say that again.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
This is the part I wanted right here. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. What is crafty counsel? Would you call crafty counsel child support?
God.
Would you call crafty counsel mass incarceration? Would you call crafty counsel redlining? Listen, it's telling us, like I said, history is telling us what's happening to us. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Against the Most High's people, they have taken crafty counsel. These nations come together. Think about this, right? America's at war with China right now. It may not be a physical war. It may be a cold war, right? They're at war nonetheless with China and Russia right now. But they still do business with China and Russia. As a matter of fact, you have Russians here with businesses here. You have Asians here with businesses here. People from China with businesses here. And when I say businesses, I'm talking about industries, businesses that you can raise and bring up a community on. I'm not talking about a mom and pop corner store business. I'm not talking about somebody selling something out the back of their car. You understand? Go ahead.
We just said before with that. What, a couple years ago?
A couple of years ago.
They let, they opened the same border that they saying that our people can't come in. They opened that border for all them Arabs.
All the Afghans, yep.
And they got all the Airbnbs, so
Yep.
all the hip hop chickens, all the gas stations.
All of the Kennedy fried chickens, all the Texas fried chickens.
You was just at that border.
Right.
Now all of a sudden it's like you setting them up. They got big business going on right here.
Yep. Listen, says they have taken crafty counsel. Listen, says they have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden ones. We're the hidden ones. We the hidden ones.
Right.
We are the people who really don't know who we are. Think about this, right? Somebody tell me, who were we before we went into slavery? And slavery in the Americas. Who were we before we went into slavery in the Americas? People be like, I don't know. And that's a shame. Because even an African can run down his tribal history. Even an Afghan can go back to 2,500 years on his history. They was just talking about it a couple of weeks ago on CNN about the history of some of the Afghans and where they came from. We can't even go back a couple hundred years.
Right.
And a lot of us can't go back 100 years. We don't know where we don't even know who we are. Says, listen, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Listen, America has totally cut us off from being a nation. Listen, we can become a nation again if we come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Like I said, these laws, statutes, and commandments tell us how to operate amongst each other. The law, statutes, and commandments, not only does it have the law, statutes, and commandments, but it's a moral compass and it gives us our history.
Right.
Listen, your history is right here in this Bible. Our history. The 12 tribes of Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Think about this, right? If that's hard to believe, think about this, right? Why are we the only people suffering? So-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives. Listen, no other nation of people that come into the Americas or any other European nation suffer in the way that we suffer. Industries are not taken from these people. We are the only people who own nothing no matter where we go. And when I say own nothing, I'm talking about industries that other nations. Think about this, right? Elon Musk. This is a billionaire. Elon Musk is a billionaire. He just did the Nazi salute, but nobody told him he had to apologize. Nobody took, listen, they took $500,000 from, what's his name? Kyrie Irving. Nobody took no money from Elon Musk. Nobody made him pay anything. They didn't even confront him. That's a billionaire. See, we keep saying black billionaire excellence. There's no such thing as a black billionaire. No such thing as a black billionaire. Has never been a such thing as a black billionaire. If you can say some words out of your mouth, or if you can think something, or if you can make a post and they can make you apologize and take your money and make you broke again, you are not a billionaire. Elon Musk is a billionaire. He did that Nazi salute and nobody made him do anything. Listen, he just listen. He just made a speech in Germany the day before yesterday. He made a speech in Germany and telling them that they shouldn't feel, what did they say? He said they shouldn't feel guilt for the Holocaust. This is what Elon Musk said. He said that the German people should not feel guilty about the Holocaust. That's billionaire power right there. That's billionaire power. Listen, we can obtain power like that if we come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments. We all right? They froze us. They froze us, huh? Let's see what they do with Elon Musk. Let's see if they make him apologize. Let's see if they make him pay some money. Let's see if they make him sit down with a rabbi so a rabbi can teach him. Let's see if they do that to him. Go ahead. Go ahead.